Hi guys, welcome to Trip Around the Multiverse. You are. I am CY Chung with my co-host.
And I am the phenomenal Kyle Charles. That made no sense.
So, if you can tell from these intros, we're going to be talking about AJ Styles today. Specifically, his 6 X Division title match wins when he was in total non-stop action.
Yes.
He in NWA, TNA,
Yeah.
whatever it was called.
Yeah, in the early
At certain point.
2000s
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
WCW was no more and the WWE was the kings of wrestling in America.
And if you want to be super cynical, where Jarrett needed to make a company so he could wrestle for.
Yeah, and be champion for like 90% of its run. Yeah,
Well, yeah.
he had a worse reign.
But to be fair, he was probably one of the biggest known stars they had in his own company at the time. So kind of it was justified. It just wasn't justified the lengths he went to keep it.
No, like you said, in his own company.
Okay,
Vanity
so
project.
AJ Styles,
Yep.
exhibition title wins. We're going chronological order. So and also, I mean, how we usually just rank these matches is we want to say missable, but that's like anything average and below.
Yeah.
Then you got curiosity, like it might not be a great match, but there's some historical significance.
Yeah.
Then you got entertaining, which is like the car crash matches
Yeah.
or fun matches, or something that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it might not have to have a great drama to the actual match. It could be a spot fest, and
Yeah.
it's good. A hardcore matches and stuff like that.
Yeah. Should
Then
we as well give a brief history on AJ? Just
oh yeah, hold on, just finish the last one.
yeah, go go.
Yeah, and definitely watch the must watch matches. That's the 4 categories you rank on.
Yeah.
Yep, over to you.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, if you are not familiar, but I'm pretty sure if you're a wrestling fan, you are. AJ Styles, is probably one of the best wrestlers who have ever lived at this moment of time.
Yeah.
He started his career in 2000 and he did a few dark matches for WCW.
Oh no, he did a couple of televised ones as well.
Oh yeah, and televised because I think it was on one of the last 2 pay-per-views. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then WCW got bought by the WWE, and he wrestled for the WWE for a couple of months, and decided to leave because it wasn't worth the money.
Yeah. He was
Yep.
saying his wife was doing
Pregnant,
a
isn't it?
course
Yeah,
somewhere,
that's it. Yeah,
nursing course, I think it was,
Yeah.
and basically he'd have to move to. He'd have to upheaval and move the entire family over to where he was wrestling,
yeah,
and OVW or somewhere like that.
yeah. Like Louisville,
But it
I
wasn't
think.
going to be worth the money that he was getting weekly, anyways.
Yeah,
So yeah, he was getting more in the independent circus, I think he was saying.
yeah. So he left, worked the Independents, and then, like we said, the chosen one, Jeff Jarrett, decided to open his own company,
Yeah.
Total Nonstop Action, with association with the NWA, and this is when AJ Styles joined and was pushed rather quickly, even though
Yeah.
he wasn't that experienced in wrestling.
Yeah.
But he's pushed
Yeah.
real quick.
Well, he was made to be. I want to say one of. They knew what they were going to do with him really quickly because, as we're going to get to it, he
Yeah.
was, as they were creating the X division, he was the spotlight guy in it. And
Yeah.
then within their first year, I think he won
Everything.
the X division title, the NWA tag title, and the
Yeah.
World NWA World title.
Yeah.
Well, within the first year, 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, first 2 years. Yeah.
Multiple times. But yeah, they knew that what they were. They had got the guy, and they were like, "Yep, this is who we're going to use
Yeah.
to help market our brand." I will say this though,
Yeah.
I don't think he was great as a. His character being phenomenal is fine. I don't think he was great charismatically or on the mic, but he
No.
got way better. He shot up.
Yeah.
Like, like towards the end of his run in TNA.
Yeah.
I mean, like even in the middle of it, when he was in Christian Coalition, he started getting goofier, but he started realizing what he needed to do as a character.
Yeah.
And then yeah, by the time he got to WWE, he basically had the full package. You could do the mic, the goofiness, the silliness, the seriousness, all the wrestling as well.
Which makes him one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. And many others.
Indeed. And he's great at, which is strange now when you look at it. When you're watching his old matches, older matches as we hear.
Yeah.
He's not. I don't think I know how much he's helping choreograph and put the match together. But nowadays he could carry anyone because he knows how to, position himself and other people, even if they're limited.
Yeah.
Here I think he's following some of these matches. He's following other people that are leading him because they've got more experience. But sometimes things happen, and it's like AJ now wouldn't do what AJ did then.
Yeah, it's like back then you could say he's a bit of a spot monkey. I don't even like using that term, but some of his matches were kind of like that, just spot after spot after spot, no rests to let you sink in what happened. Yeah, but he learned that over the years.
Well, to be fair, he hadn't been wrestling for like that long. I say that long, but only when you're on the indies for a couple of years and then you're on TV, you kind of have to move quickly.
Yeah,
and he adapted pretty well. But yeah, you can't expect him to jump from there to there with no.
No, takes reps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started with the first X Division, the inaugural crowning of the X Division champion.
Yeah.
In a what do they call it? A double elimination?
Yeah, it made no sense.
Okay, so let me just explain the rules for this match. Let me explain the rules in this match, and then I'll say who's in it.
Yeah.
Right, because the order of elimination. Basically, right, you say, right. 3 people start in the ring, and then when one person eliminated, another person replaces them.
Yeah.
Right, but each person has got to get eliminated twice in order for the last person standing to be the champion. Okay.
Yeah.
So the people in this match are AJ, Psychosis from WCW, Low Key. Was he Ring of Honor at this point?
I think it's when they was doing both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jerry Lynn from ECW, WWF, and Mr. JL in WCW.
Yeah.
The most experienced guy there. So, yeah. Okay, now just go into a quick order of eliminations, and then we'll go into the actual match quality. AJ Styles is in there first with Psychosis, and Psychosis gets pinned in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Then Low Key comes in. 2 minutes later, he gets pinned, like on the 4-minute mark. And then Jerry Lynn pins AJ Styles at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, roughly.
Yeah.
Then Jerry Lynn pins Psychosis at 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and pins Low Key at the 11-minute mark. Then AJ Styles pins Jerry Lynn at the 16-minute mark. And then he pins Jerry Lynn again for the to win the match on the 26-minute mark. Yeah. What did you think of the actual match?
At first, I was confused.
The rules?
Yeah, because I thought going in, because I saw this match years ago, but it's the first time I've seen it in like, say about 10 years, or whatever it is. And then I thought, okay, it's a fatal 4-way. Yes. I wasn't paying too much attention. Then I saw the 2 men in the ring. I was like, oh, this is where they're doing that weird rest spot where, something happens, so the third or fourth person would just lie out the ring, get their breath. No, it wasn't that. It was solo matches.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Like a gauntlet, but not,
Yeah. So, it was weird. Like, Psychosis. Like, I still love Psychosis in WCW.
Yeah.
In this match, it felt like he was literally there to take 2 pins and that's it.
Yeah, they just with as well as Low Key as well. Even though Low Key was pretty good,
Yeah,
like even later on, and even at this point, but he was just there to fill up the body in the ring.
yeah,
Uh, this match was mainly about. Okay, first of all, let me say this match is pretty good. Other than the quick eliminations, by the time we got to AJ Styles and Jerry Lynn, it actually
it was
got
good.
really good.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of these quick eliminations for people just because you're time limit.
yeah.
But the actual match is all right.
Yeah, the match was like it was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Except when it got to Jerry Lynn and AJ.
Yeah.
It was like you said, not a fan of the throw bodies in there just to get pins for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my issues.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was a pretty good match. The thing is, do you know? Okay, like you were saying, if it was a fatal 4-way elimination match,
Yeah.
it would have made much more sense.
Yeah, I would have bought the pins more.
Yeah.
Rather than.
And then you could have had all these guys in there, and that 25-minute time limit that roughly they had, right?
Yeah.
You could have had them all, like you could have fit pins within that point that eliminated 3 people. But here you got twice the amount of pins.
Yeah.
And someone, it's a bit awkward, especially since like when it started going solo, it got really, really good.
Yeah.
I think actually, to be fair, the right people were the last 2 in the ring.
Yeah, they were.
Having the reputation and experience, and AJ, the guy they were going to choose to crown as their pinnacle point of that division.
Yeah.
They had the right guys there with Loki and Psychosis, but they just didn't use them properly at that point. Did you know the backstory, by the way? If there's any backstory of why these 4 people just happened to be the okay. Now I was reading it, and like it just happened to be right. I'm thinking what they could have just did was pretend that they had a fictional tournament around the world
in Brazil.
Right?
Yeah.
No, but just around the world. Like you could have just. We did qualifiers in Japan, UK, and America, North and South.
Yeah.
Or to be the last 4 people in this on this pay-per-view, because they were doing weekly pay-per-views at that point.
Yeah.
To crown an elimination tournament to crown the first X Division champion. Yeah, you could just blatantly lie. Who's going to check it? When they actually did do the Cruiserweight Classic as well. So
yeah.
They could have just done that, and you'd be like, okay, I buy it.
Yep.
That's kayfabe, even,
Yeah. But I'm guessing they didn't do any of that.
No. They should have.
They should have.
It would have just made it a bit more prestigious and made it sound like we didn't just throw 4 random guys there. And then once they got to, like we were saying, the fatal 4-way bit of it, it'd be like you got a time frame to get those eliminations in.
Yeah.
Without having to rush everyone. And making Loki and Psychosis, I don't want to say look like chumps, but
chumps.
When you get taken a pin in 4 minutes in and 2 minutes in, it's like, well.
Yeah. It didn't make them to look good whatsoever. And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I think Psychosis left after this anyway. If I remember correctly.
Didn't he have a couple of more matches?
I think, but they were recorded in blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think after the 2 more so-called live pay-per-views, he left.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I think he went to WWE after that. But
okay.
Yeah.
In either case, I mean, yeah. They could have used him better than they did, is what we're saying, right?
Yeah. Big time. Yeah.
Right. Yep. So,
what would you say? Watchable, missable.
Okay, here's the funny thing. I slot it funny enough between curiosity and entertaining.
Okay.
Because it's an odd one. Because it is a curious, like, oh yeah. But then, yeah, like I said, not a fan of the eliminations and making the people eat pins for no reason. If it was a fatal 4-way and did this, it would have been much better.
Yeah, exactly.
The back half of the match was really good. Though.
Yeah.
That's the,
I would say curiosity, because it is AJ's first X Division win. So I'll say, yeah, I guess if you want to follow his career, yeah, definitely watch it. So, yeah. Just be confused by the whole match, but definitely watch it.
Well, to be fair, the commentators do explain the how the match, the rules of the match. But you know what?
Yeah.
Would have been much easier.
Yeah. It's just confused is just to be confusing.
Yeah.
It's something you see a lot in TNA at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, we've got to mention this match was on the 19th of June 2002.
Yes.
So the second match of these AJ title wins was against Sean Waltman. I thought it was I thought he was Sean Waltman at this point, but he was actually called Six Pack still.
Yeah. My boy.
So yeah,
One of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
At this point, AJ's turned heel, and he's got this manager called Mortimer Plumtree.
Yeah.
This match took place on 23rd of October 2002.
Yep.
No DQ match. Oh, did you read it? Do you know any backstory to this match, by the way?
No.
Right. Okay. So there's a clip where Sean Waltman is talking about how he was all drugged up.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Right. And okay, so I think it's the event before this, if I'm correct, right? I might not be though. He was having a match with AJ Styles, and Sean AJ was going to him, how we're going to put the match together and stuff like that. And Sean kind of brushed him off.
Yeah.
And shot up in the toilets.
Oh yeah. I've heard about this. Yeah.
Okay. And so when he came to the match, Sean was like, "I'll call it in the ring," which I didn't watch that specific match, but you know, he said it didn't go that bad.
Yeah.
Right. Except that he forgot the finish. Right. So he kind of just told AJ, I don't know what they did, but it just went to a non-finish.
Yeah.
And then after went back, he said, "I'm so sorry, AJ. I'm mucked up. I forgot what we were meant to do and stuff like that." And AJ nowadays would have been able to, because he's got the experience, he would have just called it himself. So that's why they had this rematch, and I think the finish was for AJ to win the title.
That makes sense.
What did you think of this match?
This match, it was good. The one thing I did notice, because like in the match before, he was coming out to Born in the USA, didn't understand why.
Yeah. Oh no, because he didn't have. But you're gonna point out he didn't have the I Am music by then.
No.
It was the second TNA show that he started having his classic I Am.
Yeah, the best song ever made because it makes no sense. It was a good match. Another thing that threw me off before the match even started was Six Pac's entrance music sounded like the most generic thing ever, and then the sort of promo he cut before was weird. Yeah,
I think that was to cover up what they messed up the match previous.
Yeah,
they had rules, and then they were like no DQ.
Yeah,
this time. But like you say, I mean, it's weird. Is it weird in the sense that it's supposed to be no DQ match, but they never use anything that could be quantified as no DQ.
No,
he picked up the stairs once, but he never hits anyone with it.
Nope. They didn't fight on the outside. It was just a normal match, and then even the no DQ bit makes no sense for the end of the match because he goes to hit. Style goes to hit him with the Style Clash.
Yeah.
So he grabs the rope.
Yeah, the bottom rope,
Yeah. And then Brian Christopher comes and hits him with the bottle. And they sort of do it as a disguise so the referee don't see it. But there's no DQ. What difference
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. And they said Mortimer, I think X-Pac threatened Mortimer Plumtree. If he got involved, X-Pac will, I call him X-Pac, Sean Waltman.
Yeah.
So he's gonna cause some damage to Mortimer Plumtree.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but then Mortimer Plumtree doesn't
do anything.
He kind of distracts the referee and never gets directly involved.
Yeah.
So what was the point? Not what was the point in that, but maybe that's how the previous match finished though, and that's why they give up. We don't know. We didn't watch the previous match, so we can't.
No.
Just... Also, okay. Look, I'd probably put. I don't like. So in the middle of the match, Six Pack kicks out the spiral tap.
Yeah.
Now the spiral tap. How would you describe the spiral tap?
It is a guy just throwing his body off the top rope and spinning and hopefully trying not to land on his neck.
Okay, all right. So it's
a
AJ's
corkscrew.
ultimate finish that
Yeah.
he never does now because I think he don't know if he can pull it off or not, or more of
Yeah.
like, can he just take that brunt of that move when you're landing on someone on your back if your back's not in good condition?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Because, like, that move rarely looks phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get on to
we'll get onto that
Yep.
in the next match. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a top rope maneuver, and it does look great as well.
Yeah.
When it connects.
Yeah. Like we'll
But
say
X
later.
kicked out of it in mid match, and I'm like, right, you probably shouldn't be kicking out this move.
No.
And then again, later on, Pete Dunne kicked out of it when Tyler Bate did it, and I'm like, yeah, it's not one of the things you should be kicking out of.
Well, I'll say the Tyler Bate one, because it's like 10 years later. The move's been diluted. Like
Yeah. Okay, we'll add that.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. It's especially this early in AJ's career when he's trying to get that move over and you're kicking out of it mid-match.
Yeah. And then it goes on for a bit more while X-Pac gives the X Factor. X-Pac. Sean Waltman gives the X Factor, the sit down facebuster.
Yeah.
And that's when Mortal Plumtree interferes, like we were saying. And then, we get to the Clash bottle finish.
Yeah.
This match went around 10 minutes. I would say, I mean, personally, I'd probably say you could miss this match. It's not. Yep. I don't want to. Yeah, nothing significant that you go either way.
Yeah.
Other than it's AJ's second title win, but
it's not an important.
Then, it's not a noble point in his career.
No.
Yeah. And we can. I mean, I want to say, we could chalk it up to Sean Waltman being on substances. If you want to really throw the blame.
Yeah, you could. But I just think as well, it just, like, everything until the finish was alright.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel like an important match at all.
Nor, like we say, a no DQ match that doesn't even use the stipulation is a bit odd as well.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things like that were, oddities. Yeah. Okay, right. On to the third match.
Yeah.
Which is AJ Styles versus Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah.
Which was the NWA TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View number 98.
Yeah.
On the 9th of June 2004.
Yeah.
What do you think of this match?
This match, if you're not listening to the commentary, it's a good match.
If you don't listen to commentary, why'd you say that?
Because the commentary give it away, the ending straight away.
What do they do?
They just keep going on about how great AJ is.
Okay, so now let me point out as well, when they do the introductions, they talk about him being 2-time X Division champion, a 2-time world champion, and a 2-time tag champion.
Yeah.
Right? Going for his third X Division title against the champion Frankie Kazarian. And man's got all these accolades. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Not saying, okay, we know where this is going, but it's just like, yeah.
You've set up the ending already, we know.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, I would look at it like this, right? If Kaz beat him, it would have been a great accolade for Kaz.
Yeah.
It would have made him look like, okay, we got this other guy, AJ Styles, who we're using to prop up Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah.
That would have been great. A great use of, all the introductions, all the accolades, all the championships won, to lose to this guy who's climbed up the ranks, would have been great for Kaz. Except, obviously, like he didn't go that way.
Yeah, it just like there's no if you was in the arena, you probably would have been like, yeah, Frankie has a chance to win this. But if you're watching it and they're just going on and on and on about how amazing AJ is and how you get the feeling that they have nothing for him on the higher card, so we're gonna throw him back into the mid card and give him the title, which it seemed like. And just to point out as well, I think if we don't take into account the previous stuff that happened, but AJ just came off the previous weekly pay-per-view King Mountain match where he was competing for the title, and then he kind of
not drops back down to the X division, but he's just like, okay, he's competed up there,
Yeah.
and we know where he is ranked.
Yeah.
Now he's coming back, and he's like, he's probably just going to establish him at the top of the mountain in this on the X division. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the only good thing they said about Kazarian was he's held this belt for 2 months. Okay.
Well,
achievement.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right, but as for the actual match itself,
I don't know. I still think even the match was kind of lackluster.
well, really, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I wasn't bored for it.
And I wasn't bored for it, but
I think
I never felt that AJ was gonna lose.
Fair, that's fair. I know. Well, towards the end of the okay, not to say I was thinking the same thing, but I think Frankie. Look, he treated the way I looked at it. He treated Frankie Kazarian as his equal when they were putting the match together. He didn't he wasn't overly on the offense as much. He wasn't making it look like a chump. They were selling for each other equally, and it's easier to do that when you know you're going to come out on top. For example, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying he they both look like they were in the ring with an equal, like a person with equal amount of skill.
Yeah. It did. But it just certain bits.
You're just like the chances of Frankie winning were less than the chances of AJ winning, which is fine.
Yeah.
Is every time John Cena steps in the ring? Come on.
yeah, exactly. But that was one of Cena's problems as well. But it just seemed.
Oh, I thought he had a good. I thought Kazarian had a good couple of nice near falls.
I don't know, because like everything he did, AJ sort of countered, and I was like, okay.
I'll tell you what though, what caught me towards the end of the match was when AJ went to do a discus clothesline.
Yeah. And
I think he was slightly a bit more to the left than he should have. But what it looked like is, as his discus, his fist, instead of his arm hitting Frankie Kazarian, it was the fist, and it looked like he basically just done a discus right hook.
Ooh.
And Kazarian sold it like a champ. Man, he looked like that thing just clocked him in the face, and he just went for it. Like, I think at a point he saw the fist coming. He was like, "Oh, I could do really good with this," and he just like did he got proper clock.
I can take this. Yeah.
He probably did glancing actually hit him as well, because once you're in the movement in that space, you got a split second to coordinate if you realize the guy's out of sync.
Yeah.
But he was like, I guess I'll take what it's not going to kill me. I guess I pretty much will have to take it.
There was
whether it's glancing or not, however much a percentage of the actual shot he took.
Yeah, he sold it like he did get like legit punched. I did like the spot where they were fighting for position on the top rope.
Yeah.
And then AJ just suplexed him to the outside.
Yeah, I was like, both of them went down there as well, and I'm like, it couldn't have been a nice landing.
No.
I mean, even how padded the ground, like 1-inch pads, man, they're not great.
No. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But besides, it was a good match. A good match.
Yeah. Okay, as we were talking about the spiral tap.
Yep.
Before, what the hell do you think? Okay, we probably know what happened at the end. AJ did a spiral tap, but I think Frankie was the positioning. Either Frankie was too close,
or AJ overshot it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think what happened was because as he crawls back, I think because there was a kick out, but not a kick out because referee counted it.
Yeah.
I do believe what I think because AJ was kind of there but covering his mouth area.
Yeah.
I think he told Kaz to kick out so they could get to. So it was like, all right, probably kick out and I'll hit you with the clash or something like
that.
Yeah. But he told him to kick out because he knew he didn't hit him. But the referee counted at that point, so there was the announcer was holding like some sort of confusion.
Yeah.
And then because they had another Kid Cash attacking him and stuff like that, they couldn't really once the count was counted, they couldn't really do anything about it.
Yeah. This is what we're talking about. The style clash. Sometimes it looks amazing.
The Spiral Tap, you mean?
Spinal Tap, sorry. Sometimes it looks great. Sometimes you get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have thought personally, yeah, if he kicked out and then they hit him with the clash afterwards, great. That'd have made it much better.
Yeah.
It's just that when you notably tell the guy to kick, no, he didn't tell him to kick out notably, but I'm just saying the guy kicks out, the referee still counts it. It's a very odd ending.
Yep. Especially when everyone can see that you missed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But funny enough, I think they've showed a replay from the angle where it was from the post that he jumped from.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really see how much he landed or not because of the angle. I was like, okay, kind of smart.
But, yeah, and then so you would say people to watch this?
Yeah. It's entertaining. It's entertaining.
Yeah, it's a good match.
Yeah.
It's just the end.
Yeah. All right. Any no other thing? You want to move on to the next match?
Yeah, next match. Which one was that?
This is the Ultimate X match.
Oh, this match.
Okay. So AJ Styles, PT Williams, who's the champ at this point, and Chris Saban in a Ultimate X match, Final Resolution 2004.
Yeah. This.
Yeah.
So this.
Is that good side or bad side?
No, it's a good side. I'm just trying to think what to say. This has basically this match has got like the people who helped make the X division the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the Canadian Muscle, Pete Williams, who was my favorite TNA wrestler during this period. So basically, if you don't know what an Ultimate X match is, it's like a ladder match without a ladder. I know that's weird to explain. So basically, they have constructed a rope above the ring in the shape of an X. And then you have to climb up to these ropes and jimmy your way to the middle to unhook the belt to become champion.
Yep.
Yes.
It is exactly as you described. It is a ladder match without ladder, but with ropes forming an X. Yeah, exactly as you say.
Yeah. This match starts off like every other match. People, feeling each other out.
Yeah.
And then there's a little miscommunication, and Pete Williams, who came out with Scott D'Amore, the guy who's currently running TNA, but back then he was a in-ring talent / manager / I think he was a writer back then as well.
Yeah. Man of many hats.
Yeah, many hats. And then he gets ejected from ringside, which I was like, okay, but I don't get, because this match is technically no DQ.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Wrestling. So that happens. Interesting back and forth between all characters. Saban and AJ, if I remember correctly, they worked together for a while against Pete Williams because he's the heel in the match.
Yeah.
And then there's one weird spot where Pete Williams forgets it's an Ultimate X match and tries to pin Chris Saban, and the commentary make mention of it, which is even more funny. One of my favorite cool spots in the match was Pete Williams hitting an electric chair assisted Hurricane Rudder while climbing the ropes.
That was nuts.
Yeah. This was a spot fest, but in a good way.
Yes.
Like, the spots were spread out. They weren't spot after spot after spot. and just get tired of it. Is there any other things you like before I get to the end?
Yeah. So there's a one bit where Pete Williams sells his shoulder really well. I thought it was going to come into play later on, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But Saban and Pete Williams are having like a scuff on the outside, and AJ does a senton dive.
Yeah.
And then AJ's leg kind of lands on Pete Williams, who sells like his shoulder's just been destroyed. But it was like, all right, so maybe he tries something with his shoulder later on where he's trying to grab the Ultimate X and he can't hold onto rope. Okay, foreshadowing. Except there isn't.
No, yeah, but doesn't AJ sort of sell that later on?
Yeah.
When he's climbing the ropes and gets really near, and then his arm gives out and he drops. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I think sometimes they with those ropes they might have just slipped, and it's just an unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Saban. So okay, there's another best spot where Chris Saban and AJ Styles are both on the turnbuckle, and AJ's back is against the pillar, where one of the X's are hanging from the ropes, and Chris Saban does a drop kick on him. I'm like, Chris Saban, you're jumping from that height and you're gonna land in the ring. You're hurting yourself more than you're hurting AJ Styles with a drop kick there. It makes sense to me.
Is the risk worth the reward? No.
Yeah. Because AJ's back would have just went into the metal, and then he probably would have just jumped off and landed on his feet, or I mean, like, would have took a safer landing rather than taking a front bump from the top turnbuckle after a jump to jump for a drop kick,
Yeah, silly man. And
the electric chair Hurricane Rana, that was really good.
There was a weird one when AJ's hanging, and I think he gets drop kicked or someone swings his leg, and he does that. Like a sort of a front flip and then does a back bump. It looks really, that could have went extremely wrong.
No, there was another one where P. Williams, I think, is on the X trying to get the title, and AJ Styles jumps into the phenomenal forearm. I mean, he misses P.T. Williams, right?
Yeah.
But then P.T. Williams purposely crunches up.
Yeah.
P.T. Williams dropped afterwards, so it's like,
huh?
What was meant to happen there? Like, if he was going to hit him, but then drop. It was weird to have him drop afterwards.
Yeah.
Especially since, say, for example, if he was hanging using his arms,
you
could say his arm went, right?
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
No. It just looked weird. Like you said, it was like a couple of seconds later, you're like, huh.
Yeah. But that was nice as well. Yeah. There was a nice double reverse DDT spot where Chris Saban had Pete Williams in reverse DDT. AJ runs, springboards, flips backwards over Chris Saban, catches his head, and then all of them drop down for the reverse DDT.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah. The other one was the Saban springboard dropkick spot when AJ Styles was on the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he done the kind of like he done a kind of mid-air flip bump.
Yeah.
Landed in his back, so he didn't land on his face, and I was like, oof, that didn't look nice at all.
That just looked painful.
Yeah, from that height. Because he had to rotate himself to land. And I was like, ooh, you shouldn't be taking, I mean, back when you're young and stupid, okay.
Yeah, fair enough. But even then...
Yeah, that if you didn't rotate enough, like if you didn't swing to rotate enough, you could have landed on your head.
Yeah, because I just got flashbacks of when Kaz took some stupid move off the top of the X. It was
you talking about Kaz, or when Kaz did it to Christopher Daniels?
One or two. I think it's that one, and it just looked wrong. You're like, yeah, dude, no, you shouldn't be doing those sort of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll wrap it up. Then coming to the close of the match, Saban and Pete Williams climb the ropes, get to the X, and they're fighting over it. Yeah. And then if you look very carefully in the background, you see AJ come, and he springboards, phenomenal forearms the title basically, and it falls, so it lands in the ring, and he lands sort of next to it and grabs it, so he wins.
Yeah, great. I think it was a great inventive finish, actually.
Yeah, it was.
To be fair, kind of cheated that he didn't even climb the X to get it, but it protected everyone in the match, Yeah. So it was a great move, and it was a unique finish for this style of match.
Mm.
Because then everyone has a right to challenge. Because both these two guys, Chris Saban and Pete Williams, had their hands on the title.
Yeah.
And they both could say, look, I'm a rightful next challenger because this guy didn't even climb the X to get the title and he knocked it out of our hands. We had already unlatched it.
Yeah.
So
It was unique.
Everyone looked good in this match.
Yeah.
And as we say, it's more of a spot fest match. I mean, I'd put it in a more entertaining category. I'm not saying a spot fest match because what they did had reason and they weren't just doing things without selling them as well.
Yeah.
So it was all good.
Yeah, that's the thing about like when you have like these sort of matches or ladder matches.
Yeah.
Everyone looks good because no one realistically is taking the loss.
Yeah.
It's like sort of chance. So yeah, I would definitely say watch for entertainment values because it's a great match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely do that. Okay, we're heading on to the... Oh, hold on. The one thing you forgot to mention was AJ took a Canadian Destroyer and he sold that amazingly.
Yeah, like he literally
got
died.
spiked. No. If you do, like you say, if you look carefully...
Yeah, if you look carefully, his head doesn't touch the ground whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
But how he sold it, like, oh, wow.
Yeah, like he proper got spiked on his head.
Yeah.
That was a very safely done one, but at certain angles... You wouldn't know that how protected he was.
Okay, and then the next match,
match number 5?
Five. Yep, is from Unbreakable 2005, and this is the match that everyone says is the best TNA match in TNA history.
Yep.
Even to this day,
quite
20
right,
years on.
I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the triple threat match between AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels.
Yep.
This match,
Christopher Daniels was champion during this match.
I think at this point they were saying he was the longest reigning at this point of 5 years into the company. This match, wow.
Yeah.
There's so much. I don't know where to start, where to begin.
I guess just do the highlight reel of it because, there's a lot of, like, you don't want to go through the entire match. No. I've just got bits and pieces I'll pick out, but you might pick them out before. But just to highlight certain sequences that you like, because you could. There's a whole lot of things we could say.
Just
definitely watch.
Yeah. Like, I can't pick out like a specific thing except for like Samoa Joe was at his peak at this point. He was the unstoppable monster because it's like even the start of the match is basically Christopher Daniels. It's Joe and AJ fighting Christopher Daniels together, working together to fight Christopher Daniels, and then Joe just turns on AJ, as you do, because he's Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
It's just insanity. There's a number of topes to the outside.
Yeah. Everyone gets their spots in there. Everyone gets, even like Samoa Joe, 280 pounds, according to the kayfabe billing weight.
Yeah.
Man, he's dealing damage doing the high flying stuff as well. And you're like, yep, everyone gets their time to shine. Everyone gets a sequence to do. And no one looks bad at all.
No.
Like you say, they all kind of have their roles in the match. Samoa Joe being the brute, massive monster.
Yeah.
Just destroying people.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels is kind of like the wily veteran, kind of.
Yeah, the smart guy. He's the
heel there. Yeah. And AJ's been the fire-up babyface.
Yeah.
With the more spectacular moves.
Yeah, like, there's one bit when Joe just does the corkscrew tope. And like, oh wow, Joe can do that. Yeah, Joe's amazing. The Uranagi, there's so much. One of my favorite bits is when Christopher Daniels does the BME best moves ever and just looks amazing.
Yep.
Like he gets halfway across the ring with it. Wow, I can't really think of anything else.
There was a nice sequence where I believe Christopher Daniels doing a monkey flip on AJ Styles. As AJ's floating through in midair, he catches Samoa Joe with his legs and spins into Hurricane Rana. It's like, ooh, yeah. That's creative right there.
That was awesome.
Yeah. The spiral tap counter when Christopher Daniels in the Kona King clutch and AJ can spiral tap both of them. I was like, oof.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Well, as in the sequence, or you're like, oh, that landing was rough.
Yeah, the landing. The sequence was awesome, but the landing was like, ooh. At the best of times, we said that move's not the greatest on the person taking it.
Well, it kind of is a blind landing kind of move because you know where they are, kind of. But once you start launching, they're out of your eye line.
Yeah,
it's up to the person on the ground to kind of
hope for the best.
I don't want to say brace for it, but be aware.
Yeah, that looked.
Yeah,
and I think Joe did one of my favorite counters when I think it was like a roll up, and then he flipped the person over and then put him in the clutch. Yeah. I love when he does that.
Yeah,
Joe's the best.
And the ending was pretty good as well.
Yeah,
where Christopher Daniels had AJ in the Angel's wings, which is like the setup is like the pedigree setup. You had double underhook.
Yeah,
and AJ flipped him over.
And then, that was awesome because you didn't see it coming. I was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, this match it was pretty lengthy, but never felt that it went on for about half
26 minutes.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like it because, like we're saying, there was muscle busters. The angel wings, all that stuff, but you didn't feel like it was going to end. Or it didn't outstay its welcome.
Yeah. And it kept on moving. It was paced really well.
Yeah, and even the surprise ending made it feel a lot better. You're like, cool. Because after watching wrestling for years and years and years, you could see an ending coming a mile away.
Well, I'll tell you what as well. The other thing is, with this particular thing, anyone could have won the match and would have been happy because the match was so damn good, and everyone did their parts. No one looked worse than anyone else.
No.
Even though I'd say Samoa Joe's offense, because he's the monster, he has to look kind of the more brutish one.
Yeah.
Which is fine by how they've set up the stuff. But AJ had good fire because there was a sequence where he was started clobbering Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And then Joe just smashed him right back. Cut him off. I was like, oh, yeah.
Because Joe's the man.
Yeah, there was another one as well towards the end of the match, which I thought this is a nice nod to how long the match had went on for.
Yeah.
AJ picked up Samoa Joe for a torture rack.
Yeah.
Slam, and then he just collapsed on top of him for a pin. I don't know if it's a combination of, supposedly Joe's so heavy I couldn't get him up, and then when I'd done that move I'm tired, or because of how long this match is going for and the stuff we've been busting out. Yeah. I'm got the energy to do a proper pin. But in either case, it added to the story.
Yeah, made it better.
Yeah. It's really good. Really good stuff.
Yeah. So I would agree with the massive jury and say this is probably the best match in TNI history. And I'll definitely say watch for entertainment because it's the greatest.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. I just say definitely go into watch pile for this. Yeah,
yep, definitely. I might even watch it again later. But it's that great.
Well, I'm not sure if this is the one though. Watch out for it. But I think there was an interview with Christopher Daniels, and he said that it's either this one or next because they have two of these matches that are normal matches, then they have the Ultimate X match. So I know it's not the Ultimate X match, but there was a sequence they kind of, I think there was a spot that's supposed to run twice.
Yeah. And
Samoa Joe accidentally thought it was the second one.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what the spot was. I think it was something to do with the tile, but Samoa Joe wasn't meant to. They weren't meant to do that tile bit where Christopher Daniels kicked the tile in his face.
Yeah.
At that point, there's something. There was a break in between it, and then they had to do it. And then they went back. Supposed to go back to that.
Okay.
So then there was a sequence where AJ and Daniels had to just kind of call it in the middle, but because they worked with each other for so long, they knew they could easily fill up that gap.
Okay.
But it's quite funny to watch, you know. I mean, when you watch and you're like, oh, these guys didn't. It doesn't look like they ever communicating something that is like, okay, something went wrong. Not something went wrong. But the sequence is not the sequence we're meant to be doing right now.
Like, that's not right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's match or the second match. Did you watch the rematch of this match?
I haven't watched it in years. I remember watching it when it first happened, but I haven't watched it recently.
Yeah, that was really good as well. I actually watched that one before I watched this one, funny enough, because by the time I got the wrestling channel. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, this match really, really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, loved it. And then we got the last match, which was AJ versus Christopher Saban. Don't know why I called him Christopher Saban.
Yeah, because he never goes by Christopher Saban.
Nah, Chris Saban, or Super Saban as he was called at one point.
Yeah.
For the X Division title, this is AJ's final title win.
Yep.
Again, this, from what I get the gist of the backstory is, once again, AJ just came out of being in the top card and it's like, we have nothing for you. You're going back to the X Division. And he came in and got pissy with Saban because Saban was saying, Jerry Lynn's old and I'm young.
Yeah, because he was the future.
Yeah.
So Chris, that's his gimmick.
That's his gimmick. And AJ got offended by this.
Yeah.
And somehow was able to be in the Right to Fight tournament and also get an X Division shot. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
This match is extremely short.
Yeah.
The one few things I'll give it, Saban was in control of the match most of the time. Like AJ would try and mount a comeback. Whatever he did, Saban had the counter for it. I was like, okay, cool. And then I want to say this match is about 6 minutes long.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. There you go.
4 minutes, 4 and a bit minutes longer. Yeah, 4:20.
Yeah. And AJ wins with a roll up.
Yeah.
That's...
See, okay, now here, as for the match itself, it's pretty entertaining for the time frame it fit, actually. I didn't think it was too bad.
That wasn't too bad.
If you just look at it as the match, right?
Yeah.
I think they did my boy Chris Saban a dirty, though.
Yeah.
The way that the final cards fell.
Yeah.
Okay. So, not much to say. So, it was, okay. So, Cradle Shock, which is like fireman's carry and Chris Saban hooks the legs. Yeah. As he spins to the driver, that's when AJ Styles rolled him up for the pin.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's the finish.
Yeah.
The setup for this, like you say, was they were in the fight for the right tournament.
Yeah.
To then get the last three contenders in a freeway match, and the winner will then fight Abyss to challenge Sting for the World Heavyweight title. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I was like, why you could have just given this win to Chris Saban and let him go and take AJ Styles' spot in this.
Yeah. And
it would have helped Chris Saban be elevated.
Yeah.
Because why not just make a new star, right?
Yeah.
Except the only reason that AJ won this, it seemed to me, was then for Chris Saban to interfere and cost AJ the match against Abyss. Like, what was the point?
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Chris Saban wins the title of Loki 2 days later on the recorded. Like, you know, they're recording the blocks. Yeah. 2 days later, he records. He loses to AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Which is broadcast, a couple of weeks later. Then AJ Styles holds it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then loses to Christopher Daniels. And then 2 months later, it goes back to Chris Saban. It's like, what was the point? Could have just kept him Chris Saban. And then you could have had whoever he pinned or during the freeway interfere to cost him the finals if you were going to do like that. And you could put another X Division wrestler in that freeway finish. in the finals, just so then they could challenge Chris Saban for the title. Like you could have done it safely, where everyone else looks good coming out of it, and Chris Saban didn't have to win the title and lose it, and then a couple of months win it back, and then just be all. What was the point of this entire thing?
Even a more simpler version is that match between AJ and Chris Saban couldn't have been for the title.
Yeah, but then the problem, of course, is how do you have a guy who's going to beat your X Division champion in 4 minutes?
Yeah.
It's they put themselves in a bad spot. Like you say, actually, one of the really simplest thing was like just never have it done in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Because here's the thing. I think with the main problem with TNA is there's quite a lot of X Division title changes in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm not to say they don't respect the division, but the people in the division,
afterthoughts.
Yeah, exactly. They needed more respect.
Yeah.
For what they do, and like longer title reigns to establish the titles work, how it contends for and how good they are.
Yeah.
But if you start changing the title pretty quickly in a short amount of time, you kind of devalue it.
Yeah.
I mean, there weren't a huge amount of long title reigns, and if they're saying, like we were watching this, Christopher Daniels was the longest reigning title TNA NWA X Division title holder.
Yeah.
At 6 months. At that point, the title's been around for 3 years, and you're telling me no one's held it for longer than 3 months? 6 months?
Because looking at it now, until Christopher Daniels with that 6 month reign of 182 days.
Yeah.
P.E. Williams was just before that in August of the year before, 2004.
Yes.
His reign was 159 days.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just not very long reigns.
Yeah.
Until, where is it? Austin Aries gets it in 2012.
Yeah.
2011, sorry. And he has it for 301 days.
Well, here's the thing as well. Some of these title reigns are 2 weeks long, a month long, and stuff like that. And it's no, man, your title. AJ, when he won that title, should have kept it for an extended amount of time. Not could have kept it for 6 weeks, 6 months, sorry.
Yeah.
Of contenders. But they fit a lot of title holders in a small amount of time, and they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, because not even long after this, in 2007, Jay Lethal has it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the X Division has always been the key selling point in TNA, but
back when I was watching it weekly, I'm watching it for the X Division.
Yeah, but even then, they didn't really give it any sort of respect it was due.
Yeah.
TNA gonna TNA, so that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true. It's
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, they're getting better now, but great. In the what's his name, Vince Russo's day of TNA, it was even worse. So hey, the whole when Hogan came in, they made a stupid rule that all X Division matches would be triple threat matches.
Yeah.
Which lasted about a month. And they just kept on making stupid little changes. Go away. We get it. You don't understand what this division is. Just leave it. Oh, hey.
Well, that's that's the issue, isn't it? Because they try to keep on changing things around and then put a weight limit on it.
Yeah.
That's what it's not about. It's not meant to be is a fast-paced division that's not specifically a cruiserweight division.
Yeah, exactly.
But then when you just highlight it's a cruiserweight division to the people that don't care about cruiserweights, you know how WCW book cruiserweights.
Yeah.
You know how WWE have looked at the light heavyweight division, which was meant to be the equivalent of cruiserweights, and you look how they do the cruiserweight division now.
Yeah.
They ain't care, that much. So
that's why they've folded it into NXT so people can care about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know, say, oh, they look down at the cruiserweight division, but when you think about it logically, there's a place for these guys, and they actually are better athletes than your heavyweight guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you could say is in match quality they'd be the draw. You could even say the heavyweight division is more of the characters, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm watching TNA for the X division, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And they should have learned from WCW's mistake when you had like Jericho, Guerrero, and all that in the cruiserweight division, and people legit was tuning in to WCW just for that.
Yeah, I think there was jealousy in WCW where actually, I'm going to point out something at the end of this, but they basically, these guys were so much better than the heavyweight guys at doing stuff.
Yeah,
physically.
Yeah.
Just verbally knock them down and make them. Oh yeah, so okay, this is what I'm going to get to. So I'm not saying this is the end, but Nash was calling the cruiserweight division vanilla midgets back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So he's basically saying they're plain and uncharismatic.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's short. So let's do an interesting thing here, right? Let's look at Kevin Nash title wins, all his title wins. Yeah? Right?
Well, in WCW and WWF.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not much.
We're going to be like his tag title win, his Intercontinental title win, his World title win in WWF, and then his 4 WCW title wins.
Yeah.
Let's have a look and compare. Okay, it's actually a harsh comparison when you think about it, because you compare one of the most premier athletes in the world.
Yeah.
To a guy who just lumbers about almost.
Yeah, who got by because of his friends.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, he had. He's actually quite a charismatic guy now.
Yeah, he is.
He can do comedy, like all the stuff he can do.
Yeah.
Is character based.
Yeah.
But not specifically physicality based, and I mean, we'll get to it when we get to it, but I think he got by mostly on his height and build.
Yeah.
Than anything else.
Yeah, not his skills.
No. But yeah, that closing up. Yeah, I think we should do Nash title matches next, just for the
giggles.
Yeah, exactly. Just for the fun.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'm up for that.
Okay.
So yeah, overall, AJ Styles, amazing.
Yeah, amazing matches mostly.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good. I mean, the X Division is always like pretty good. With sometimes the matches be spot fests, but hey, look, we're here for that as well. We know what you know what you're watching when you've seen that.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the bad spot fests are
great,
pretty good. And when I say the bad ones, I mean like when people take massive big moves and they don't sell it and stuff like. Like, okay,
yeah,
it's a stunt show.
Yeah, exactly. But I would say maybe I would think I remember more of his like TNA title wins than.
These NWA as well. Them title wins.
Oh no, I don't class them because if I remember, they weren't that good.
Okay.
But yeah,
maybe we'll have a look at AJ Styles' world title wins later on at some point. Wait, that's 11 matches. No, it's like 10 matches, isn't it?
I think so. Is he like 7 or 8 time?
3-time NWA, 2-time TNA, 2-time New Japan.
Yeah.
And 2-time WWE.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll maybe do that at some point because they're going to be always good.
Yeah. Because AJ's the man. Yeah, we'll do it one time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We're signing off, right?
Yeah, we're signing off.
I am the man who did not sleep with Kelly Lynch, nor Dixie Carter, and sold a punch from Serge Salinas as though I died in a car crash. See my Chong?
And I am the face that runs the place. The champ that runs the camp. The man that built SmackDown. SmackDown's the house that AJ built. Whatever. Kyle Jones. I'm trying to pick all these WWE ones, but I just can't remember. The Georgia Pitbull as well, yeah, one.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah, the Georgia Pitbull, which never got over.
Nope, lasted like a week.
But that's us signing off for this episode. Thanks for taking the trip around the multiverse with us.
Thank you. And if you're a fan of AJ's, and let us know what matches of his you liked in the comments section down below, or on our social medias. Drop us an email, all that fun stuff. Interact with us, because it's fun. And bye.